the most expensive hotel in the world once had a floor that was almost always empty. Not because it was under construction. Not because of a pandemic. Because they built it that way. Burj Al Arab. The sail-shaped tower rising out of the Arabian Gulf on its own artificial island. 321 meters of steel, glass, and what Dubai wanted the world to believe the future looked like. When it opened in 1999, there was nothing else like it on the planet. And that was entirely the point. But here is what nobody talks about. The building that became the global symbol of impossible luxury is now quietly struggling to fill its rooms. And the story of how that happened tells you something true about ambition, about money, and about what happens when a place builds its entire identity around being the best in the world and the world keeps moving forward. Dubai in the late 1990s was not the Dubai you see on Instagram today. It was a city in the middle of a bet. The oil was running out. The leadership knew it. So they made a decision that most governments would never dare to make. They would build something so extraordinary that people would have no choice but to pay attention. Not a good hotel. Not a great hotel. The first 7-star hotel in the world. That label, 7 stars, was never official. No hospitality rating system actually goes above 5. The Burj Al Arab gave itself that title through sheer audacity, and the world accepted it because nothing in the building contradicted it. Gold leaf on 22-carat surfaces. A fleet of Rolls-Royce cars to pick up guests from the airport. A helipad that briefly became a tennis court when Roger Federer and Andre Agassi played a match on it with the Gulf stretching out behind them. Tiger Woods chipped golf balls off it into the sea. The images went everywhere. That was the whole strategy. Think about what Dubai was actually selling. It was not selling hotel rooms. It was selling proof. Proof that a desert city with no oil left could still make the entire world stop and stare. Every photograph of Burj Al Arab was free advertising. Every celebrity who stepped inside became a billboard. The building was not just architecture. It was a message. And for about a decade, the message worked perfectly. Then something shifted. It did not happen overnight, which is why most people missed it. The problem with building your reputation on being the most extreme version of something is that extreme becomes the new normal. Dubai kept building. The Palm Jumeirah. The Burj Khalifa. The Dubai Mall. The Atlantis. The world kept watching, and slowly, the Burj Al Arab stopped being the most shocking thing in the frame. At the same time, the luxury travel market was changing underneath it. A new kind of wealthy traveler was emerging, younger, more connected, more interested in experience than in status symbols. They were not impressed by gold interiors the way their parents had been. They wanted privacy, authenticity, something that felt personal rather than performative. The Burj Al Arab, with its theatrical grandeur and its reputation for being the place people went to be seen, started to feel like a different era. Here's a number that should stop you for a second. The hotel has only 202 suites. That is it. In a building that tall, on its own island, after billions in construction and decades of global marketing, there are 202 rooms. The smallest suite starts at roughly 1,700 square feet. The Royal Suite, 2 floors, a cinema, a rotating bed, a private elevator, goes for somewhere between $10,000 and $24,000 a night depending on the season. And those rooms are not always full. Travel journalists and industry insiders began reporting it quietly a few years ago. Floors that felt deserted. Restaurants inside the hotel that were harder to get into than the rooms themselves because day visitors were paying more consistently than overnight guests. The hotel began allowing non-guests to book afternoon tea, tours, cocktail hours, just to keep revenue flowing through the building. The symbol of exclusivity was opening its doors to anyone who could afford a $200 tea service. That is not failure. but it is a version of something. It is a building trying to find a new relationship with relevance. What makes this story stick is that it is not really about a hotel. It is about the gap between what a place represents and what it actually delivers. Dubai built the Burj Al Arab to prove something to the world. And it worked. It proved it. But you cannot prove the same thing twice. The second time you show someone something extraordinary, they are already calibrated for extraordinary. The shock is gone. What remains has to be genuinely worth experiencing on its own terms, not just as a symbol. There is a version of this in most people's lives, if you are honest about it. You work toward something because of what it represents. The job title, the apartment, the trip, the version of yourself you are performing for other people. And when you get it, there is a moment, sometimes short, sometimes longer, where it delivers. Then the world adjusts. The thing that was supposed to signal arrival just becomes the baseline. And you are already looking for the next signal. Dubai is doing what cities do. It is adapting. The Burj Al Arab recently went through a significant renovation. New interiors, updated technology, a quieter kind of luxury that is trying to speak to the traveler who exists in 2025 rather than the one who gasped at gold ceilings in 1999. Whether it works is genuinely unclear. The building still draws visitors. The helipad still gets photographed. The name still carries weight in a way that newer hotels have not yet earned. But walk through certain floors on a slow midweek night and what you find is not the future anymore. It is a monument. Beautiful, precise, almost unnervingly still. A place that changed what people thought was possible and is now living in the long shadow of that achievement. The buildings that last are not the ones that scream the loudest at the moment of their opening. They are the ones that quietly become part of how a city breathes. The Eiffel Tower was hated when it was built. The Empire State Building was called a monument to capitalism and excess. Both outlasted every criticism because they stopped trying to prove something and just became themselves. Burj Al Arab is in that transition right now. It does not know yet what it is becoming. Neither does Dubai, fully. The question the city is quietly sitting with, the one that nobody in the tourism board puts in a press release, is what happens when the world has seen everything you have built and is waiting to see what you build next. That is not an empty hotel. That is a very specific kind of pressure. And most of the time, the places that feel it most intensely are the ones that built themselves entirely on other people watching. The sail is still standing. The light still catches it at sunset in a way that makes you understand why they built it there. But the rooms above you are quieter than they used to be. And somewhere in that silence is a question worth sitting with long after you have left.